Hey guys, what's up and welcome to another video. Today in our looking at the new spell animations for Warlords of Draenor. Today our class is going to be the Paladin, starting with Holy Spec. Holy Spec is the spec I am most familiar with. It's the spec I've played the most as a Paladin, so I figured I'd start there and work our way out. For starters, we're looking at Holy Shock, and as you can see, for Holy Shock, not a whole lot has changed. Still a just very simple casting animation instant, a little bit of light there, boom, healed. Holy Prism, still very much the same spell animation there. Now Holy Prism is a talent still, so it hasn't changed in that regard, so Holy Prism still the same. Holy Radiance, while it does now have a cast time, the spell animation for it still looks the same, so very similar. Just a little bit of light around you as the caster, and then that little splash of light there on the one being healed. Again, we now have Flash of Light, which does look the same for all specs, so kind of a little just cascading a little effect there. I feel like for Flash of Light, that is a little bit different. As you can see, it almost looks like dust falling over the target. I feel like that's a little bit new. Something for Word of Glory we're looking at now. Very much the same animation still. Except, of course, as we notice, it does have a cast time. And Holy Light, there is no more Divine Light. Your big heal, there's just Holy Light. They've removed all that, so you just have your small heal and then your Holy Light, which now has the icon for your original big heal. Divine Protection, still the same spell animation there. Puts a little bubble around you so you know it's up. Same thing for Beacon of Light. Still the same animation. Cleanse still has the same animation. Speed of Light, Burst of Speed, Speed of Light. Still the same animation. Still like that little blazing yellow effect that comes up behind you. Pretty cool. Devotion Aura, still the same animation. Same thing with Sacred Shield, which is, of course, a talent. Still looks very much the same. Now, one I will point out, because when I first was casting it, goofing around in the beta a while ago, it caught my eye, and I think this is the spell that really stuck out to me. It's like, hey, you should do a video series on these new animations, because this one looks awesome. As you can see, we have our spell Light of Dawn, which used to be an instant cast for some AoE heals and things of that sort. But if you look at it now, it has a cast time. But look at that animation. Like, that just looks explosive. It looks powerful. It looks fun. It's very stylized. It's got just that cool ring, just that burst, and then the speckles of light all around it. I think it's pretty cool. Like, it makes me want to cast the spell just to see it, like, cast and go off. It looks cool. So kudos to the animation team for that one. Looks like it's got a pretty gnarly radius too. Everything within 30 yards. I don't know if it's quite 30 yards on live, but that's pretty intense, because you can see it's getting that Death Knight all the way over there. As you can see, our blessings still have a very similar animation, though I believe that helmet has been updated, that animation there for the Blessing of Kings. It looks like at least the fist there for Blessing of Might has been updated as well, to where it looks a little bit in line for our level 90 talents for the Paladin. We have Light's Hammer, which, as you can still has the radius around it. The area of effect where you choose, you drop it down. There's the hammer on the ground, and still very similar animation. Nothing really too new, nothing fancy. I mean, it does look cool, but again, nothing new to that one. While we're waiting for our Light's Hammer to cool down, let's go take a look at Beacon of Insight. So kind of a cool little flash there animation to that one. And then our third talent in our level 90 tier, of course, is Stay of Execution. Still has the same effect of the hammer slowly dropping and dropping and dropping. And then that's it. So nothing too new for our animations in that tier. Beacon of Faith, which does replace Beacon of Light, I believe. Or not. Very interesting. But you can only have one or the other up on the target. Alright. So again, not too much of an animation there, though, involved with our Beacon of Faith. Now, we just look for Crusader Strike. Still similar animation. A little bit of a light, glancing of light across your weapon as you swing it, but again, nothing too over dramatic there. Judgment still looks the same, dropping the hammer. For Exorcism, Divine Storm, so still the spinning and swirling of hammers. Hammer of the Righteous, still that ripple effect there coming off the hammer. And then Exorcism. Oh, interesting. Exorcism for a Retribution Paladin now is melee range. Very, very interesting. So not too much of an animation there going along with that one. Templar's Verdict, a little more dramatic of a spell animation there. He's got that kind of heavy chop feel to it. See that one more time. Kind of cool. For the Retribution Paladin, Emancipate, so similar animation still. Our Word of Glory that can damage the target if you glyph for it. And let's take a look at one of our talent. We have Holy Avenger. Still puts that orange glyph around us as we stand and walk around and move around there down on the ground on us. So wings still look the same, Avenging Wrath. And then let's take a look at our middle level 100 talent for Retribution Paladin. It's called Seraphim. So it puts this pretty cool animation above us. We get that little crown from our tier 6. It looks like our hammer or our weapon changes into that hammer of light. And as we saw that animation from the cast time popping up. Now what's crazy about this one is it has a very short cooldown. It's only got a 30-second cooldown, which is kind of crazy. It does cost 5 holy power, but that's really not hard to get as a Retribution Paladin, so I want to pop that open again just to take a look at the casting animation. So you see the swords go up, your helm changes a little bit, and you get that glowing yellow hammer there over it, which is pretty cool. Overall, it's pretty gnarly talent, just massive stat boosts and such, so it's kind of cool. Big fan. And then as soon as Seraphim comes off cooldown, we'll take a look at Final Verdict. This talent itself only costs 3 holy power. Oh, that's kind of cool. So it has some range, but not a whole lot. Just kind of throws a hammer that way, kind of dope. And then it increases the damage radius of our next Divine Storm. Very interesting. Ah, but it does replace Templar's Verdict. Okay, that makes sense. kinda nifty. I feel like the animations for our seals has been updated a little bit as well. For our Seal of Truth, still somewhat similar. Seal of Righteousness, still pretty similar. Seal of Justice, it just feels a little more fluid, or the animations for it feel a little more done up. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But they do feel cleaner and smoother, and the little icons they have pop up above your head, and just the way the animation itself flows. So it looks pretty cool though, I think. Now for protection. Protection, your tanking spec. Let's see, Crusader Strike still looks the same. Obviously different swinging animation because you're using a one-handed weapon, but that flash of light across the blade looks the same. Judgment looks the same. Hammer of Righteousness looks the same. Holy Wrath, unique to and specific to protection now. A little burst of light there. Let's look at Shield of the Righteous. So just kind of a little shield bast there. A little glinting of light, looks cool. Let's take a look at Holy Wrath one more time. Just real quick, shoots that bit of light across, and that's it. Consecration, still the same effect, little crackles and breaks in the ground with holy energy on the floor there. Let's look at Argent Defender. Oh, that's kind of cool. A little bit more stylized animation there. Blessing of Protection, or Hand of Protection, still the same animation. Avenging Wrath, still the Captain America shield being flung there and back. Guardian of Ancient Kings, unique to protection now. Now something you have access to in all of your specs. And then we have Divine Shield, still the same animation we had updated back in Mist of Pandaria. Since that was updated fairly recently, there's not a whole lot of need to update it again. Not a whole lot is different with our talents that we really need to look at. Holy Prism, Light's Hammer, Execution Sentence we already looked at. Holy Shield and Empowered Seals are both passive, so Seraphim is the only active skill, and we know what that looks like from our look at Ret. So it does look the same for protection, though it does change the way your shield looks. So let's take a look at that, which is kind of neat. It affects that if you're taking it as protection as well, not just your weapon but your shield. So that's kind of cool. That hammer looks very much the same, just shorter. So yeah, for as far as protection Paladin goes, that's about it, because all the other talents are pretty much the same. They look the same across the board. So yeah, that's it. Just about. That's our look at the Paladin class, covering all three specs: Holy, Retribution, and Protection. Other than that, I think that's gonna do it. Yeah, that's the Paladin. Next, I'm pretty set on doing Warlock next, so we'll take a look at the Warlock class next. That should be coming up fairly soon. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this video, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.